Mason, hi. Can you hear me? Hi, baby. Hi. You can hear me? Yeah. Good job. Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah. Hi. Can you say hi? No.
Do you like that?
Do you like how everything sounds? Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, yo, famo, what's good? All right, now, of course, it's your boy, Wayne Boogie. All right, now, if you guys have seen me on another channel, that was me too. All right, trust that. All right, but this right here is Wayne's Whirl. All right, so this right here is where I'm just going to be coming at you guys maybe twice a week. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting for Sundays and Thursdays right now. I'm coming at y'all like twice a week. And I'm just going to go over what's going on in popular culture, man. That's going to include my take on politics, sports, entertainment. That's, you know what I'm saying, whatever, hip hop. I'm not going to call it spilling no tea like that, man. I ain't no spilling no tea. All right, but you know what I'm saying, I will touch on some topics in the entertainment industry as well, just depending on what's hot, whatever's hot, whatever y'all talking about, whatever the streets is talking about. That's what we want to discuss right here. Like I said, twice a week. So, hey, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss an episode. And make sure you guys get down there in them comments and y'all interacting with me, man. Make sure. So, if you guys get some really good questions out, who knows? I might shout you out in the next video, or you know what I'm saying, I would if it's a question that you guys ask that I think is really, really good, really, really deep, I'll save it for the next episode, and that's how I lead off the show. All right. So, like I said, once again, this is Wayne's Whirl, episode 1. Let's get it. All right. So, as of today, Sunday, September 20th, all right, the popular app TikTok, okay, will no longer be available for download in app stores in the US. All right. Now, it's not just TikTok, it's also the app WeChat. Now, I'm not too familiar with the app WeChat. I'm very familiar with the app TikTok. I'm pretty sure a lot of us out there are pretty much familiar with the app TikTok and what it's all about. All right. But the app WeChat, okay, the app WeChat is basically they call it like an all-inclusive app where you can send money to people. You know what I'm saying? You can send messages. So it's probably more like WhatsApp, but except you can spend money on it. You can send money on it too. So those two apps are Chinese owned and operated apps, and due to security concerns, those apps are no longer going to be allowed to be used in the US. Now, WeChat will be done as of September 20th. They will try to remain in negotiations with the commerce, with the chain of commerce, with the Department of Commerce. I'm sorry. But it's no guarantee. All right. Now, TikTok, on the other hand, they will be allowed to continue operations up until November 12th. They're going to have some ongoing communications with the Department of Commerce to see if they could meet the criteria to be allowed for download in the US. Now, TikTok and WeChat have both been very, very vocal about the fact that they are not hoarding people's data, that they're not using it for any nefarious purposes. But, you know, that's still up for debate. Now, you have a lot of people who say that this is a security concern, that we should not be allowed to have TikTok. I know that TikTok has changed a lot of people's lives. When you get into this digital space, you have an opportunity to have your life change. That's where YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you know what I'm saying? So, when you get, like I said, when you get to the digital space, you have an opportunity to create a future for yourself, to create a name for yourself. And a lot of young people, especially a lot of young people, have used TikTok to advertise their talents, whether it's dancing, comedy, acting, singing, makeup artists, barbers, you know, all type of people. You know, they use TikTok as a way to kind of advertise themselves and what it is that they can do. And a lot of people's lives have changed as a result of that. Now, my question, you know what I'm saying, the question that I ask myself for the sake of this is that, you know what I'm saying, TikTok has changed the lives of lots of people. So should it be allowed in the U.S.? Now, I know, like they say, there's some security concerns with TikTok, okay? But, I mean, you could say there's security concerns with everything. I mean, if you look at the information that TikTok is taking, or the information or the data that TikTok is compiling, it's pretty much the same thing that Facebook compiles. It's the same data. It's just to see what videos people are watching, to keep you familiar. I mean, you know, you sign up for TikTok and it asks you your interests, and they try to plug your interests into your timeline so that you can stay tuned in. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's the point of TikTok, to keep you tuned in. So they're collecting the data. It's a lot of data. If you guys look up, if you could research it, they'll break it down, the stuff that they're collecting and stuff. And like I said, it's pretty similar to the same stuff that Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg are collecting. You know, so me personally, I feel like TikTok should be still allowed because, like I said, it changed a lot of people's lives. And not only that, they're trying to partner them up with some U.S. companies, I guess, to kind of act like their big brother or their overseer, to make sure that they're not doing anything dangerous. I also know that TikTok is a very, very big money program, and like I said, they're Chinese owned and operated, so they don't kind of fall under the same tax rules and whatnot as U.S. companies do. So, like I said, they have been given till November 12th to rectify what it is they need to rectify. But I kind of feel like if they come up with the funds, or if they come up with enough money, all could be forgiven. But what do you guys think, huh? Jump down there and let me know. But like I said, Sunday, September 20th, TikTok will begin the banned window. Ooh. But something that's not as upbeat. There was a recent mass shooting in Rochester, New York. This happened Friday night of September 18th, going into Saturday morning of September 19th. There was a backyard party. In Rochester, New York. 16 people were shot altogether. 2 people were killed. 14 were injured. There was no suspect. The suspect was still at large at the time that I got this information. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, at the time that I collected this data, there were no suspects in custody. There's still no suspects in custody. The names of the 2 victims have been released. I won't put their names here, but they were both 19 years old and they were just at the party. It was a young man and a young woman. They are both considered to just be innocent bystanders in this situation. Now, like I mentioned, this was a party that was going on in Rochester, New York. There's been a lot going on right now in Rochester, New York. There was a man who was killed by police, and the video was recently released. It happened in Rochester last year. The video was recently released, and there's been a lot of protests and there's been a lot of demonstrations in that area. I don't think this is connected to that at all. They did say that there were up to 4 gunmen in this situation. Once again, they have not been captured or anything, so they still are at large. Now, like I've said a couple times already, this happened during COVID-19. Now, we all know that there are certain areas in the U.S. that have been deemed hot zones for COVID. I think New York is one of those places. Now, this kind of begs the question, you know, like, should you be even partying right now during COVID-19? I mean, this was a backyard party where 16 people were shot, but they said it was over 100 people attending the party. Now, this is being labeled a mass shooting, obviously, because you have 16 victims. The Department of Justice calls mass shootings when there are at least four victims involved in the shooting. So this definitely trumps that. Now, mass shootings, you would think because of COVID and because of the restrictions and because of people being told to stay inside, you would think that mass shootings would be down in 2020. But actually, mass shootings have been up. They've been coming up in 2020. That's probably like one of the only things that has been going up here in 2020 is mass shootings. Now, in 2019, it was a record set. That was 418 mass shootings. That was a record. And since July, already in July, we've already seen 320 mass shootings, not to even include the one that we just had the other night. So it's trending up. And my question with that is, if the COVID COVID-19 virus cannot stop mass shootings. What can? What can stop mass shootings in the U.S.? And I don't think anybody has a definite answer to that question. What could stop mass shootings? I'll tell you one thing. During COVID-19, mass shootings could be stopped if people just honored the restrictions. You know what I'm saying? Not being in large gatherings and whatnot. But in totality, stopping mass shootings, I mean, you would have to really, really get more strict, more tight on gun laws. Now, a lot of people would argue that states that have stricter gun laws would have a less number of mass shootings, but less number of mass shootings is not zero mass shootings. So even with those laws, it still happens. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that laws primarily affect the good people. You know what I'm saying? The people who will be deemed bad or bad guys are not really affected by law. So to think that for any reason more laws is going to make those people just stop doing bad is kind of hard to think. But you don't want to really infringe on too many people's rights. That's really a huge thing right now. A lot of people are complaining about just wearing masks, and that's not constitutional law. But that is something that is being suggested just to kind of end COVID, and that's been an issue. So I can imagine if they really start talking about not allowing people to have firearms, what would happen? And you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that because you don't want to tread on the good people because of the actions of some bad apples. So what do you think, man? What do you think we can do to kind of taper down the mass shootings? I mean, it's not fun. It's a bad thing. Okay, so what can we do to taper those down? Okay, also on Friday, there was some more news that came out. Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away from complications of cancer. Justice Ginsburg was 87 at her time of death. Now, Ruth Bader Ginsburg sat on the bench of the Supreme Court since August of 1993. She was nominated and appointed by Bill Clinton cabinet back in 93, where she has been serving ever since. Now, Justice Ginsburg has been known to be an advocate for gender equality as well as women's rights. So at a time right now where equality rights are something that's being argued almost daily, to lose Justice Ginsburg, it's pretty significant. Especially when you look at the 9 Supreme Court justices who currently sit, and the fact that, it's, you kind of want to have a pretty balanced Supreme Court to where it's just not overly biased by one particular or overly influenced by one political party. You know what I'm saying? So in 2016, when President Obama was on his way out of office, that was the same year that Justice Scalia passed away. And a lot of people were lobbying for President Obama to be able to appoint a Supreme Court justice prior to the end of his presidency, which was denied, and he was not allowed to appoint a justice, which was fine. I mean, he was leaving office. So I guess if you want to use that as a reason to say he shouldn't have been allowed to, okay, whatever. But President Trump came in after that. That's when he nominated Neil Gorsuch. And the following year, he nominated Brett Kavanaugh. So now we are at another situation where we have lost lifetime appointed judge, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And we are in an election season. So very, very close to the upcoming election. We're probably within, a month and a half, I think. So a lot of people are kind of wondering if President Trump should be allowed to to nominate and appoint a new Supreme Court justice. I mean, he's been in office going on 4 years now, and he's already had 2 that he's thrown in there. I'm not saying it should be a certain number or a certain cap, because things happen. I don't think anybody expected Justice Ginsburg to die or anything like that. So it happened. But a lot of people will argue whether he should be given that opportunity when we don't even know if he's going to be the president in November. We don't know if he's going to win the election or not. So a lot of people would like to wait until after the election. It's been rumored, or it's been said by, I think it was Justice Ginsburg's daughter or her niece, that while she was on her deathbed, one of her last wishes was that her successor not be named until after the election. Now, like I said, this right here is from word of mouth. This is something that was put out there. Does it make it true? We don't know. But I don't think it would be a bad idea to wait until after the election. However, I also don't think that it's totally bad if President Trump does do that before he gets out of office. You have to think about something now. This is a huge election coming up in November. It's huge for several reasons. Of course, you have the president being named, but also this is a year where Congress is also up for re-election, and that's something that's not really being talked about a lot. Now, yes, the president does nominate who he thinks should be considered for the seat of justice, but it has to go up to the Senate for a vote to be confirmed. Okay, and now currently the Senate is ran by, it is a Republican ran Senate. We obviously know that President Trump is a Republican, so you can already know that the next judge who's going to be appointed is probably going to fall under that same ideology. So what I think is that, like I said, I don't think it's a bad idea if President Trump does nominate someone right now before he gets out. But I also don't think it would be terribly bad if we waited till after the election, because we don't know. I mean, there's a possibility that it could become a Democrat-ran Congress after the election. What if they win the Senate and the House, and then President Trump wins the election, and the people that he nominate they're not voted in, they're not selected? Or what if Joe Biden wins the election and the Senate stays the same? It doesn't flip. It's still a Republican-ran Senate. The nominee that he selects may not be voted on. So we don't really know what's going to happen with this upcoming election. I think you have it. If you're looking at social media to kind of give you a gauge, or to give you an idea of who's leading this race right now, I don't really think you're going to get a good representation, mainly because it's pretty much split, man. You don't really know who wants who. There's a lot of people out there that want Trump to win. There's even more people out there that don't want him to win. There's even a larger amount of people who don't. They just oppose the Biden Kamala Harris ticket all the way around, who just are threatening not to even vote. So it's a lot of stuff to be considered. The main thing that I would say is that, you have the executive branch of office, the legislative branch of office, and the judicial branch of office. And this right here is an election coming up that could potentially affect each branch of government that we have. So this is a huge election. A lot of people say that they don't want to vote. You need to get out there and vote. You need to get out there and use your voice. You need to go out there and use your civic. You need to go out there and serve your civic duties, okay, and make sure that you vote. Because, listen, the Supreme Court, they're the ones who fight for different laws, different statutes, okay? You have the legislative branch. They're the ones who are going to sign those into office, okay? And then they're the ones who want to actually put them into office. And then, the president has the power to veto or use executive orders if they feel like. But I really look at the legislative branch, Congress, as the biggest domino in politics, and we need to vote for Congress. All right, so get out there and rock the vote, man. Y'all vote. All right, man. Y'all see, look, y'all already know what it is. Y'all see how I'm rocking. Y'all know how I'm coming. It's an AD jersey. It's not the LeBron one. Don't even trip, but y'all know how I'm rocking. Y'all know who I'm rocking with. But over the weekend, Giannis Antetokounmpo earned his second consecutive MVP award in the NBA. Now, it looks like it was like a landslide win because, Giannis had a majority of the first place votes. I think LeBron had like 15 or 16 votes, while Giannis had like 100 or something. in terms of looking at the vote, it doesn't look like it was even close between LeBron and Giannis. But if you look at their games, man, everybody who knows basketball, if you know basketball, you pretty much know that LeBron James for the last 15 years or so, minus last season when he hurt his groin, but LeBron James has been pretty much the most dominant player in the NBA over the last 15 years or so. So it hasn't changed. You're watching the playoffs right now. He's still dominant. And LeBron had a very, very hot take on the MVP vote. Okay, now he brought up the fact that in 2012, 2013, he was named the MVP, but he was also the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. Now this season, Giannis Antetokounmpo won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, making him only one of 3 players to do so: Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and himself. All right, but LeBron was up for that one, for that distinction, 2012, 2013, but he won the MVP, finished second Defensive Player of the Year to Marc Gasol. Now, LeBron made a great point when he said Marc Gasol won the Defensive Player of the Year, but he was second team All NBA defense that season, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. That's like the MVP winning, being named to second team All NBA. You know, if you're the best player in the NBA, or if you consider one of the best players in the NBA on one side of the ball, you know, when it comes to that side of the ball, you should be first team. You shouldn't be second team. So it didn't make a lot of sense to LeBron, or to the fact that it didn't make sense to, if you look at it, it doesn't make sense. The fact that you won Defensive Player of the Year, but you're second team NBA defense, that means somebody on that first team should have been more deserving. But, you know, LeBron questioned the fact that maybe people just get caught up in the narratives when it comes to these type of votes. Okay, and I honestly feel like LeBron has a legit argument with that. I mean, you've seen it over the years. You know, the most deserving players, everybody who watches the basketball, you could pretty much feel like who's the most deserving player when it comes to the MVP. And, you know, I'm not taking anything from Giannis because he did have great numbers this year, but I mean, you can't just always just look at the numbers and say, okay, well, that automatically makes him the best player. I mean, LeBron played in a very tough Western Conference. LeBron played in a division in the Western Conference where 2 other teams were also playoff teams, one of them being the Clippers, which everybody pretty much considered the Clippers the best team in basketball this year, even though they flamed out in the playoffs. So it doesn't automatically equate just to the numbers. I mean, LeBron led the league in assists for the first time in his career, you know, but he also led the Lakers to the #1 seed in the West, a very tough Western Conference. And not only that, it was a shortened season. Okay, so they were only 4 games behind Milwaukee at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? But if the season would have carried on as it should have, I mean, Milwaukee was they were kind of going down. They were kind of not playing too much anymore. Giannis was suffering for some injuries towards the end of the season that he had to kind of, you know, some nicks and bruises. So who knows what could have happened if the season just played out without COVID. But because it did, LeBron was denied a chance at his 5th MVP award. Now, like I said, I feel like these awards do just really get caught up in the storylines more often than not. Because, hey, if it's a good story, it's a good story. I think everybody really expected Giannis to step up after last season, the way that his playoff run ended. I think they really expected him to make it to the finals this year. And it was looking like that was a possibility until they ran into the Miami Heat and that buzzsaw they have down there. So I feel like LeBron has a legit argument with that. Like he said, he's not tripping about it totally. But I think that the MVP voting needs to, the criteria for the voting needs to be looked at. It needs to be reassessed. We don't want to take anything from Giannis. Like I said, he did have a great season. He led the league in plenty of statistics. His numbers went up from last year. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't really deny him or say that. I don't really compare it to when Steve Nash won his 2nd MVP and Kobe probably should have won that one. But whatever. What y'all think about that, though? Let me know. Jump down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the MVP voting. If they got it right. If Giannis truly deserved it or not. All right. Now, obviously, tonight is going to be Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Last night, we had Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We saw Boston wake up, hold on to the lead this time, and take the win that they needed. There was a lot of controversy after Game 2, saying that there was a lot of arguing and whatnot going on in the locker room, but I think it worked out for them. You know what I'm saying? And I look forward to the rest of that series. I think it's going to go 7 games. I kind of feel like Boston's going to pull it out in the end. As far as the Western Conference Finals, we already saw what the Lakers did to Denver in Game 1, but we're not going to count out Denver at all because we've seen what they did to the Clippers in Round 2. So, yeah, I think that this is going to be a really good game, too, between the Lakers and the Nuggets. I don't expect the Lakers to come out and just blow these guys out again. The Nuggets are a good team. Okay, so anybody thinking, people talking about the Lakers about to sweep the Nuggets, I think I would love to see the Lakers sweep the Nuggets, but they're going to have to win one of these games with like a buzzer beater or something, I think, to beat the Nuggets in 4. I don't feel like they'll do it in 5, maybe 6. It's not going to go 7 games, but 5, maybe 6. But you cannot count out this Nuggets team. They're a really, really good team, really young team, very talented. Jamal Murray even really had a decent Game 1. It was just that Jokic didn't do anything. The Joker didn't do anything in Game 1. He was pretty much held in check by the combination of Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee did a little bit as well. I look forward to that series, and look forward to watching the remainder of the NBA playoffs. But what I do want to say is, man, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Really, really appreciate it. Like I said, this right here is Wayne's Whirl. This is episode 1. This right here was pretty cool. Just sitting here having a little chat or whatever. We'll see, man. This is my first episode. I like to do stuff like this. I like to speak, share my thoughts with people, and I like to discuss. I like to discuss different topics that's going on. I'm not a huge political guy, but I'm into politics a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge sports fan. I enjoy sports a lot. And with COVID right now, sports are a little different. So I'm enjoying watching sports again. And then when it comes to the entertainment industry, you know, I'm into that too, man. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty well-rounded individual. You know, if you guys are familiar with my other channel, like I said before, you guys have seen the things that I've done on my other channel, what I'm into on there. So this is where I'm going to be coming over here just to try to keep a podcast going, man. I want to get into this digital space right here of a podcast and do the best I can with it. So if you guys have any suggestions, if you guys think I should be doing something better, something different, them down in the comments and let me know. But make sure you hit the subscribe button before you let me know anything. All right, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. All right, and stay tuned, man. We're gonna be back Thursday. All right, so make sure y'all here with me and checking this out. All right, now as always, 'Peace.